Hi, I'm Jessica Jackson of Thriving in Motherhood, and today I'm going to talk about 5 steps to help you prepare for survival mode. Now, sometimes you are just surprised. Things just happen and you don't know that they're coming. And sometimes you have a little bit of a heads up and you know it's going to be short term and there's things you can do to get ready for it. And sometimes it's helpful, like if you've hit that season and all of a sudden you and your family are kind of trying to figure out what to do next, to start out your survival mode and say, okay, these are 5 things we can do right now, even though we're in it, just to help us weather things a little bit more gracefully for the next little while, or a long while. But here, I'm going to scale this down short for you. Now, if you are in a hard season, if you are in survival mode, or you even just want to kind of get your bearings for where you're at, I've got a free checklist for you that goes along with today's episode. The 5-step path from surviving to thriving checklist. You can get it at thrivingandmotherhoodpodcast.com/checklist, so that you've got notes right there for helping you not only navigate survival mode well, but to get back to thriving. So with that being said, I recently had a procedure done that would require me to go under anesthesia. And we have gone, my husband and I, Andrew, have gone down this path so many times. He's taken me to the doctor so many times. We know that it's going to slow me down for a few days. So we anticipated that. And because of that, there were some things that we were super intentional about so that things went smoother at home, so that I had what I needed for recovery. And so this is the list of what we did. And again, this was a period we knew it was going to be a couple of days, of bumpy couple of days. So the very first thing we did was we got some freezer meals. Now, I used to bake all of my freezer meals from scratch. That's wonderful. We were going into this from a really busy season, and so we got a little more realistic. We just went and got stuff from the store. We went and I got a Stouffer's lasagna. We got, it was like voila, I don't know, voila dinner meals. I don't know, ones that you put in the pot and add water and let them heat up, but it's like pasta and chicken and vegetables. It's things that we don't normally eat. Okay. This is like very much not normal. This is very different from how we normally eat, but that's kind of the point. Things are very different from how they normally are, which is why we're doing this. We had kind of gotten to this rut of just going and eating out, but for our family, it's like $30 a meal to go eat out, even at a fast food place. And so we were trying to get a little bit ahead. Instead of spending $30 a meal, spending like $11 a meal with some of these fast food places, which for 6 people is fairly reasonable when you're in survival mode and you're just trying to make things quick and easy. All right. The second thing was I needed something that I could be excited about during this period of time, because it's really easy when things are hard to get into despair. Even if it's short term, it is really, really hard. And so for us, I looked forward to painting rooms. I kind of got this in my head. We're going to paint. And so even though I had very little energy for quite a few days and went very slowly, I just kind of puttered away at getting ready to paint and painting a little bit. We were reading Harry Potter with my kids. And so at night we'd spend like an hour or two together just reading, because they were more on their own during the day, kind of playing while I was resting, sleeping, recovering. But that was something that we could come together and do even during the day. Actually, we spent a lot of time reading together because I was immobile on the couch. The third thing was we cleaned the house. We got it prepped. And the wonderful thing is that I have been working with Simplify To Soar Club. This is the program I created to get our house streamlined and ready to go for life, so that it's easy to do big projects. It's easy also in survival mode to maintain things. But we just kind of got a clean reset slate of our main living area so that we weren't feeling stressed going into this procedure. And when I was in the survival season, it was nice to I was going slow, and I made it a priority to help the kids. Okay, please reset your zones. Let's get this area clean, picked back up. Even though I couldn't physically do a ton of moving, kind of help guide the kids and direct it through that. And when I did have a little bit of energy, because we had already outsourced our meals to the freezer section, it made it so I could put some energy into tidying up while dinner was cooking. So again, it's a way to kind of help preserve my own mental health, to streamline things, to simplify, and to start getting priorities in place. It was important that we ate. It was also important that we had a clean house. So what do? We had to make some trade-offs. But overall, the level of cleanliness was higher. Everyone got food to eat. They were happy. It was something new and novel, so that made it kind of fun for the kids. And I was able to conserve my energy for those moments that really mattered. The thing that really surprised me for number 4 was the mom guilt. Now, I don't know if this is just because I've had lots of seasons where I was pretty much out of action when I was recovering from surgeries or with, pregnancies that were months and months long. But I was surprised how just laying there, I would have these feelings of mom guilt that my kids are, off on their own, or I'm not doing projects with them, or I'm not, doing our normal things. And I would pause, and it's been a long time since I felt that. But I would just pause in those moments and take stock and say, how's everybody doing? Actually, everybody is totally fine. My kids are fine. They might be laying around next to me looking at books. They might be outside without me. They might be swinging on the swings. They might be working on a project. But you know what? They are all totally fine. I do not need to panic here. And so it was very helpful to kind of talk back to my brain. As we talk about, the 3 pillars of thriving in the Made to Soar program. And this is what the soul pillar is all about, right? Everything was fine on paper, and yet I was feeling like things were off. And I have learned these skills to help keep my brain going down what's a little more true, a little more helpful, a little more accurate, so that I can have this thriving mindset even when things are hard. In survival mode, that is going to be the thing or the skill that probably takes the most time for you to hone, but it will be the most powerful tool that you have in your toolbox or tool belt, you can pick. In navigating these hard seasons is how you think about your circumstances. And so I've practiced forever with the Thriving Motherhood Journal to get good at being able to identify what's going on and to be able to slow down and see if that's, as Brene Brown would say, the story I want to tell myself, but also to be able to just be super aware of, is this helping me or not? And how can I change this? So the other thing that was really sweet to this point, again, I'm like here processing all of this, and my 5-year-old just came to me and said, we all love you, Mom. Everyone here loves you. Now, she didn't know what was going on in my head, but it was a really powerful reminder to me that my kids, although yes, they do get frustrated sometimes when I don't jump up and do their projects with them or help them, it's really not about all the things that I do. Right. And it was so powerful because in that moment, I realized they just want me. And in fact, they might even get more of me while I'm resting here, not doing all the things I normally do. And so that became a really powerful turning point for me in this moment, a good reminder, like truly put the phone away, put the screen away. Don't try and be productive getting stuff done. I did a little bit of that, but mostly I just laid there, let the mom guilt roll off my back, and instead read books with my kids, listened to them while they told me things, let them show me the pictures they made and drew and colored over and over and over again. Let them tell me the things they were discovering in the garden. Just giving them me to the best I can. Stretches of time, not the entire time. I was taking naps. I was resting. I was checked out. But I want you to remember that. Okay, next time you are feeling that mom guilt, first of all, assess, is everybody okay? And that doesn't mean that somebody isn't crying or having a bad moment because they're hungry, they're tired, their clothes are wet, you name it, right? There's something going on. But for the most part, and in those moments too, when I was feeling the worst, everything was fine. Nobody was upset. Okay, the final piece of the puzzle here, number 5, that we did to prepare for survival mode was to talk with Andrew talk with your spouse, your partner, and communicate your needs and priorities and figure out how to simplify further. So we were really prepared day 1. We pretty much knew how it was going to go. I was going to be out of commission. We were going to have freezer meals and everything was just going to be what it was. But as day 2 went on, you're like, oh, okay, this isn't bouncing back. We weren't expecting miracles, but I'm a little bit more tired. Day 3, I'm really tired still. I'm really slow still. It's very vital to evaluate and say, okay, how is this going? What do you need? What's important to you? And I would go to Andrew and say, hey, I've got a little bit of energy right now. Is it more important for you for me to, what would be more impactful? Getting the laundry folded or making something for dinner tonight? Or getting the laundry folded or working on this painting project so it's not just in the middle of a mess. Okay. So when you have in these survival seasons just a little bit of bandwidth, and you can't do it all, or even the things you normally do, right? None of us do it all, but the things that you normally do, it's really helpful to get that feedback. And in that moment, he said, I don't really care at all. So I thought, okay, I'll be responsible, get the laundry done, make things keep running more smoothly in the essentials department, and save a project for another time when I've got more energy. But it's important for you then to, like I said, to evaluate when you can't do everything, what are you choosing to do? In the past, and in sometimes in these survival seasons, I've often chose the projects because that's fun, right? That piece of something to look forward to is crucial. But this time, what was really interesting is the answer wasn't something fun to look forward to. There was an element of there, but the true priority was just keeping things going more smoothly, keeping the house reset, keeping the meals on the table, keeping the clothes in the drawers. And I just had little pockets of energy, and that's what I focused on. And in between, I slept and I listened to my kids and we watched a show together. Okay. Not normal things for us, but the kids had a great time. And that was a really powerful reminder for me that just because things are different, just because things aren't holding up to my normal ideals, just because we let go on some of those aspirations that we have to be a screen-free family or to cook every meal from scratch or to never have, preservatives in our food or whatever it might be, that it's short term. It's very temporary. We are coming back from that. Everything's fine. But I got through it with my mental health intact. And that is the key, right? We can get through these seasons that are disruptive, that are hard, that are challenging with our mental health intact. That is not a skill I used to have. And so these are some of the very practical things that I want to offer you there. If you want to learn more, Made to Soar Next 90 Days program, I teach all of this. I teach how to put all the pieces together of your puzzle and how to not only do great and move forward on the things that are most important to you and move forward on your projects and goals, but also how to set yourself up well so that you can navigate these seasons well, so you can move forward and get through those 5 steps from surviving to thriving, so that you can build your 3 pillars, so that you can feel like you're a soaring mother. And I would love you to check that out, and you can learn more about that in a free workshop. 3 secrets to do more of what you love without hiring a babysitter. You can get that at thrivinginmotherhoodpodcast.com/workshop. And I highly recommend you checking that out because I want you to enjoy your life. I want you to enjoy your motherhood, even when things are hard, even when they're not ideal. That is my biggest wish for myself, and it has become my mission to really help empower all of you to be able to feel like you can go from surviving to soaring. So thank you so much for being here with me today. If survival mode is the season that you're in, I have loads of resources on the podcast. On YouTube, we're just getting started. We've got 5 years of podcast episodes, many of them about survival mode, so you can go back and listen to those. And also Thriving Motherhood Journal. If you need one tool, if you need one place to start, Thriving in Motherhood Journal will help you so much navigate these seasons with a thriving mindset. So have a wonderful week, and I am excited to talk with you next week.